Hey, Kool-aid Krew, what is crack-a-lackin'? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 as I get going here, guys. Hey, I'll give you guys an explanation on why I had to cancel last night, and we'll get into that. But anyway, let me get through the little brief introduction here. Guys, we had an X2 flare the other day. It was very impulsive, so that's why I wasn't rushing out here to try to show you guys all that quickly, because it was not it did not produce any kind of, it did produce a CME, but it's not going to be a big deal, I don't think. But we're going to go over that a little bit. Also, guys, we do have some coronal holes we're going to be dealing with here. This is the sun, obviously. This is extreme ultraviolet, and this is GOES, okay? I typically show you guys SDO, but just to reiterate, SDO, that data, the servers, they had a water main break on top of them servers, so we're not getting SDO data until the beginning of next year. It's a big deal. So the data's still, they're still collecting data from the satellite. It's just not going to the servers. So, you know, can't broadcast it out unless you got the data, right? And I know that some people think that it's kind of funny, this and that. We've had smaller stuff like that happen before. Guys, you know, real life sometimes does happen. And I'm not saying you guys, you know, I understand. We got to question things. But sometimes, you know, when it's at a college and especially when we had, I can't remember who was telling me in the chat the other day, they bid, the guy that was watching us, their contracting company bid to fix it. So we got, I mean, contractors. So, I mean, we know that this happened. It's not like it's trying to hide this or that. Plus, the other satellites are still working. There's a ton of other satellites. If they were trying to keep us from seeing something, they all would be down. Okay? And that's just my opinion. But anyway. So, also, guys, we did have some more eruptions afterwards. This is last go. And this is today. And as you can see here, this is a zoomed out version, okay? But we do have some eruptions here, and some of these could be coming at us. I don't think they're like massive producers of any kind of massive geomagnetic storming, but we're gonna just kind of dive into that and see what we can kind of figure out. And this is really why I want to do this live stream right now, okay? I want to come back over here to Dr. Tony Phillips because he just made my life so much easier. And let me tell you why. I always get questions. Why do we talk about space weather? What does space weather ever do to, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? It ain't going to affect us. Oh, we got a CME? Oh, so the sun's shining, right? Those are the kind of comments I get, right? And that's okay. I get being skeptical. All of us were skeptical at some point in time. Hey, Pan B, what's up, neighbor? Piper Lynn, what's going on? Hey, looky there, Seventh Son's in the hizzy. That's right. Anyway, guys, this affects real life. This is not something that we just say just to be blowing air out of our pie holes. You know what I mean? This is just not... Yeah. Anyway, this right here, check it out. Okay, and I tell you guys, I've actually talked about this specifically, and now we have direct proof of what I was saying. So, hey, thank you, Planet Hermit, for the gift of memberships. Awesome sauce, baby. I love it. Thank you, thank you. And we will be doing a members-only stream here the next day or so. So if you guys are members, please, 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 please. Can I say please again? Am I allowed to? I'm not sure, but please, please, please turn your notifications on. That would be the best thing you could do, because that way you know when I go live for members only. We're going to be having some fun. I got some stuff planned that I haven't even shared with the members yet. So we're going to be having some fun coming around here around the holidays. We're going to be playing some games, giving away some stuff. It's going to be pretty fun. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Thank you, Planet Hermit. You're a rock star. I really do appreciate everything and all the support, and that goes for everybody. Okay, so back to, and I'm going to set the chat down for a minute, guys, so if I miss something, because I want to give this my full attention, because I want you guys to really understand what I'm saying here. One of the biggest things I can point to, especially nowadays, okay, there are 80% of the farmers in our world, especially over here in the West, okay, they use GPS for everything. Okay, so when you get flares, solar flares, it immediately messes with it. Okay, not only will it do that, it'll mess with. Hey, Ron's in the house. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Man, I ain't seen you in a minute. It's good to see you. I know I've been kind of hitting around your time frame and when you're usually here. And look at that, Mark. You see, look, I'm already. Man, I miss you guys. Anyway. Oh, man. But yeah. So, let me highlight that one now. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. And I'll come back and give you guys the proper thanks here in a minute. But listen, guys. They use GPS for everything. Okay, so let me explain. So when GPS is being messed with, especially around planting and harvest time, not only will it just give the farmers headaches out the wazoo, okay, it doesn't just make their life hard, it affects production now. Okay, so let me explain. And I don't even have to read the article. I already read it, okay? Dr. Tony Phillips did an awesome job, number one, okay, with that. But to add to that, let me just say this. I've been talking about this for a long time, because this is one of the big things I can point you to that everybody knows happens. Everybody knows that, everybody knows we got a farm to eat, to live, right? So this is why I talk about this. You guys see how straight these rows are? You ever wonder why? Do you honestly think they used to be that straight back in the day? No. Okay? So what you're looking at here, they're showing you crooked rows, okay? Because the GPS was all jacked up. So these tractors, guys, they get in the tractors, they use a GPS. Some of them don't even have to be sitting in the tractor. The tractor will do it on its own. It's like a big, gigantic drone. Okay? Not only when they plant like this, because when they first get these tractors, I'm going to explain a little bit here. Because I know some farmers here in my area, and one of them is a really good friend of mine, so I know a little bit about this. At the beginning of the season, or when you first get the tractor, you can plot your field. Okay? The tractor actually will, you don't have to use a tractor really if you don't want to at the beginning. You just have to have the, sees where it's at, the locator. Okay? But you can use a tractor too. It's much like, one of the, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the automatic lawnmowers for your yard. They will come off of their deck, right? They're always charging when they're not mowing. And they will, the first time it's used, it finds its parameters which you set. So the same thing's happening here with these tractors. It'll find the edge outlines of these fields, and it knows where it planted it, what seed's there, and it will put it in a perfect straight line unless something technical is messing up. Okay? Now, to say that, fast forward to harvest time. So what if, just take this in just for an example, okay? What if at planting time, everything was fine? No geomagnetic storms, nothing like that was going on. They planted their rows of corn, everything, corn, beans, wheat, whatever you're planting, right? Everything was all good, and everything's just going great. They use it for their fertilizing machines, too. I mean, this stuff is so technical now, they can dial it down and know exactly how much everything is without having to do anything, really. No math involved at all, because the computer does it all for them. So, anyway, And then you fast forward to harvest time after planting season and everything. And then what if at harvest time, these tractors are out here harvesting this corn or whatever, and then bam, we get hit with an X flare in the middle of all that? What do you think's going to happen? You ever wondered that? If anybody knows how farming works, what's going to happen is that tractor or whatever, the harvester, it's going to get all jacked up. It ain't going to know where it's at. It's going to have issues. Okay, so it's not going to be going down these nice straight roads. It's going to be thinking it's somewhere else, and it's not. Okay? What did I do there? Oh, hold on a minute. Sorry about that. Okay, so what he's talking about here, guys, is the big storm we had back in May. This is direct coming from the farmers. It messed with them. You guys can read. I'm not going to read all this, okay? But please come over here and give Dr. Tony Phillips some love on this, because I think this is important. I think people need to have a down-to-earth recognition of what's actually happening, because it's hard to look up in the sky or look at these images I show you all the time, right? These things, and kind of compute that in your head to say, well, how's that really going to affect me tomorrow? Well, a lot of times it don't affect us tomorrow. You know when it affects us? Down the road. Just like everything nowadays, guys. You can come out, you can do anything. Anything at all. It doesn't have to affect you right now to really be bad. Or to really have a drastic effect. Because what happens is, if the farmers get all messed up, then it's the trickle-down effect that we see. So what happens, it's gonna affect you eventually at the grocery store with the prices and limited stuff. So when we're talking about all this stuff matters. And this is what I try to tell people. I didn't think it used to matter either. And it's frustrating for people like me that are out here doing these, doing this stuff, and I've latched on to space weather, and I've really dove into this, and I've got a decent understanding of what's going on and how things are working. I don't know everything, and I never will. There's people out there that know way more now than I ever will even get to. But the fact of the matter is, I can bring it back to you guys to a real-world application like this that can affect us all. And it does. It affects every one of us. Because when we have to understand that even the whole world, this affects the whole world in the instance that we produce most of the food for the world. I think most people know that. That's why a lot of the stuff politically, when things are going on everywhere around, you guys know what I'm talking about, the big WW and everything else involved with that. I'm not going to even say those words here. But the fact of the matter is, that's why we don't get messed with a lot. Because if we do, we cut the food supply off. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. And you can't use the thing that they use in Japan, right? Because then all of a sudden your soil and everything is just junk. You can't grow nothing in it anyway. And that's what I'm trying to say. It is one of those things that it's frustrating for people like me that come out here trying to give people a better understanding. And I get, and it's usually coming just from a couple people. So I get it, right? I mean, I get it. Not everybody's going to agree with me. I don't care about that. It's just when you come in here and you start calling people stupid and dumb. And then when I see stuff like this, you say, oh, no, it don't affect our farmers. I've actually, that has been directly said to me multiple times. So if you're listening to me and you said that to me, well, won't you go read this article and the other 500 that are out there on this? And then come back with some proof that it doesn't affect them at all. Which you will never do, because I've already offered you a link to come on my show immediately. And you know who I'm talking to. Nobody else knows who I'm talking to but you. So if you want to come on my show, I'll give you the keys to the channel for the day. And I'll sit here and just listen to everything you got to say. But you won't. We're going to hear crickets. So that's just what will happen. Anyway, what we got there? Hey, Nagano72, good to see you. Thank you for the gifted memberships. That's awesome. Let me highlight that for you. There's a Ron with the gifted ones too. I'm way behind. There we go. Hilly, did I see Hilly in here? Hilly, you in here, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. Yeah, there you are. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. One tuna eggnog smoothie. The first thing you do is make me laugh. I love it, man. You're such a great person, man. You truly are. Hey, Kim Possiway, Steve. Hey, why don't you guys give me a roll call in there real quick, and I'm gonna move on to what else we're gonna talk about here, and then we'll go from there. Let me say this, and then I'll end this discussion. Hey, Kool-aid Krew. Crap. Crack-a-lackin'. All right, let me pause that. Okay, so I also want to touch on this too because we get these Aurora, and I think what's starting to happen now is farmers are starting to understand when they see Aurora, they better start paying attention to their equipment. I really do. I think that's probably one of those things that's actually happening. And number one, I think it's cool anyway. I think it's awesome because there was if I remember right, I was talking to the friend of mine that has the farm here. Back in the day, it was against the law for them just to let that tractor go on its own. Even though it could. Hey, Verte, good to see you. Even though it could, right? But back in the day, they wanted somebody at least in the tractor. They didn't have to be operating it. They just wanted somebody in there to be there in case something went wrong. John Deere hopping fences like a deer. Oh, wow, Dirty Woods, that's awesome. That's one of the best lines I've seen in a very long time. Wow. Thank you for that laugh. I love it. So, so when we start seeing these things, and what I try to do for you guys is give you guys a basic understanding of what's actually happening and tell you guys and give you guys things to look at that if all of our technology goes down at whatever point, at least you're going to have some sort of idea when you look up at night and you're seeing Aurora in freaking Ecuador or something. You know what I mean? You're going to understand why your technology's down. Everybody else around you is not, unless they are listening to things like what we're talking about here. They're going to be scared. You're not. You're going to be concerned and you're going to be reacting because you already know what's happening. You've skipped that what is going on phase, right? Because you're already there. You already understand. All right, so let me go back. Michigan in the house, Kim Possible from the coast of Nevada. Piper Lynn, seventh son. What's Thanos' favorite app on his phone? Snapchat. Wow. Okay, you're in Utah, Nicole, and you're moving to North Dakota. North Dakota. Yep. North Dakota, A. Yeah, you'll get a lot of that up there. A lot of the A. Wasn't that movie? Yeah, Fargo was there. Yeah, that movie Fargo. Yeah, there's some iconic scenes in that movie, Seeing legs out the top of a wood chipper. Sorry. I shouldn't even laugh at that. That's kind of wrong, but yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Let's see here. Where you, Piper Lynn, what's up? Let's see. Go back here to Dirty Woods. He's hopping fences, baby, with John Deere. Hey, Pan B, that's my neighbor. That's right. Central Indiana, baby. Southwest Michigan, Sweet Polly Purebred. Wasamata from Montana. Love it. Love it, love it. Buckeye Jim. Wonder where you're from, Buckeye. Hey, my wife is a Buckeye. I married a Buckeye, right? And we mess with people. She'll say, what is even a Hoosier anyway? What's a Hoosier? And I'll be like, well, I know what a Buckeye is, a worthless nut. So, yeah. So we kind of go back and forth with that. I don't actually believe that. We have fun with each other that way. Okay, let's see here. Weather also has been making farmer a gamble. Yep, on crop development. You're exactly right, Marilyn. It's good to see you in here. Good to see you in here. I'm glad you're here, Marilyn. Thank you for all the stuff, just continually always being here. I really do appreciate you. I know I probably haven't said that enough, but I really, truly do. I see you in here almost every show that you can be here, and it means a lot to me, so thank you. Wilmette Valley. Your Buckeye looks like a bag. Oh, Dennis in the house. Hermit's in here. Yes, he is, baby. All right. I don't think I've ever seen a screen name this flat. Cigarettes. That's awesome. Oh, goodness. Cheeky B. Hey, I was getting ready to say that. I said Cheeky B has got to be from England. I read it, and I was like, oh, wow. That word cheeky. You don't see that anywhere else. That's awesome. Hey, Diana. Hey, thank you for the comment you left earlier, too. I did see it, so thank you. But, yeah, guys, so, I mean, I would just love for people to let me know their opinion on this in the comment section. I really would. I don't hardly ask that ever, but if you guys would, let me know your opinion on this in the comment section because, it's just one of those things. And this isn't the only thing that space weather messes with, guys. Okay? We just had a gigantic earthquake out there. And guess what was facing the Earth? 2 big, gigantic coronal holes. Is that a coincidence or not? No, it's not a coincidence. Did those coronal holes cause that earthquake? No. I can confidently tell you that those coronal holes did not, on their own, cause that earthquake. Okay? It is just part of the formula. And that's what people have to understand. It doesn't have to be just one thing. Alright? I can't say, oh God, we got a geomagnetic storm. Well, guys, we're gonna have a tsunami down there in the South Pacific, and Mount Rainier is gonna freaking blow its top. You know what I mean? Just because of coronal holes, right? No, that's not what I say ever. I have never said that. Matter of fact, I've always said it's part of the formula. There's so many things, right? And that's why we look at certain things, and they've come out with other things now, like I'm getting ready to show you right here. This is the geoelectric field model. This is the geoelectric field at the surface. They're using this to help forecast earthquakes, because they know space weather has an effect on earthquakes, seismic activity, right, in general. So this is geoelectric field, not geomagnetic, okay, which would be the space weather itself. But geomagnetic storms causes our geoelectric to mess up. They affect each other, right? So they've got this model now, and it's only for the lower 48 and Canada. They don't have this model for the rest of the world yet. I can't wait till they do. Hopefully they're working on that. But, you can see all these acronyms and stuff down here, all these, agencies that are working together. And they're trying to help bridge a gap between space weather and how much of an effect does it really have on seismic activity uptick. We know that there's a clear uptick every time we have anytime we have some massive seismic uptick. Typically, we're getting some sort of space weather at the same time. Okay, so I just want you guys to understand that is a fact. You can go back and look through the data. It's there. It's not hard to see. Matter of fact, you think they would be wasting their time on this if they didn't think that's actually part of it? They just want to understand it better. And I get it, right? And I tell you guys, go over and check out Ron, Emergency Management Associates. As a matter of fact, I think I seen Isaiah's granny in here a minute ago. I wanted to say hi to her, and hopefully she hadn't left yet. Good to see you. I seen you in here too, Birthday, if I didn't say hi. But yeah, guys, I mean, so that's just one of those. This is one of the tools that they're using, right? And when we get hit with big geomagnetic storms, this thing goes crazy. We see purples and whites. And what it is space weather's effect, this model, is showing space weather's effect on unnatural electrical components. Like wall switches, car batteries, AA batteries in your whatever, in your remote. I mean, anything not made by nature, it can affect it. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you to go in there and get in the kitchen in the drawer and get out the Reynolds, the Reynolds foil and start making you a hat with it. But this stuff does. This affects us. Okay? And it's when we get to bigger events, it's not just one thing. And I know I don't say it probably enough because I feel like I've exhausted it. I think I've said it so many times. And it's hard for me just to continue to say that, and just, it really is, it's a bit like just repetitive, and there's enough stuff that I have to repeat anyway. And that's, I try to limit that for the people that have been here for a while, but I want the new people to understand too. I want people to hear what I have to say. Why else would I be doing a YouTube channel? You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that either. So if you've got a YouTube channel out there, don't feel bad when somebody tells you, blah, 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 blah. You're just in it for the views. Well, no, I'm not in it for the views, but I wouldn't be out here wasting my time and my breath if I didn't want somebody to listen to what I had to say. you know what I mean? So it gets really frustrating sometimes. So anyway, these coronal holes, guys, it's a hole in the atmosphere of the sun. And what happens is it opens up and a bunch of charged particles start flowing out. And it connects to us, and we get increased space weather. We get faster solar wind, we get more dense solar wind, and if the geomagnetic, if the magnetic fields inside the solar wind stream are the right polarity, it can really give us a good hit. Okay, we get G1, G2 level storms from just coronal holes all the time. Okay, so just know that. And I tell you what, I'm already missing SDO. I didn't realize how much all of us in the space weather realm relied on that one satellite. I mean, we can look at it here, but I guess there's probably somewhere where I can go and get like a longer movie of this. But you can see how we only get like 2 or 3 hours on this one. So I'm trying to look around. I can show you different satellites, stereo A, and all that. But I don't really need to do that right this second. But so we did have that one, the X flares. Okay, so let me show you this real quick. Here's that X flare. That's impulsive, right? Up, down. Was no long duration. It didn't go up and then tail off like the ones I've shown you guys before, right? When that happens, typically there's not much of a CME generated with that. The flare happens, a big burst of X-ray, and then there's really not much that happens after that. You do get a small ejection of plasma, and I'm going to show it to you here in a minute, but look at this, guys. We almost had another one today. That's really, really close to an X-flare. I think it was like an M8 or something like that. It was an R2 radio blackout. Also, we got hit with a storm yesterday that almost got us into G1 level storming right here. And I think that was from the coronal holes that were facing us a couple of days before that. Also, I want to show you guys this because this is back on the 8th. And that's when this X-flare happened, right? Where was that X-flare at? Let me show you. Okay, it's right here. All right? So it's in a position that even if it did fire a CME, which it did, and I'm going to show it to you here in a minute, most of it would miss Earth, okay? Because most of it would be going that direction. So I just wanted to make sure I showed you guys that first. And then I'm going to take you guys over here to SOHO. This is another satellite. It's from our perspective. And it sits out. This is a coronagraph on the satellite. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a nuance thing that happens with these. Okay? That you have to know what you're looking at to understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a, I guess, an inside tip, I guess. I don't know. If you guys ever watch these things at all. So let me, right here, that was the X flare, right? So what do we look for when that happens? We're looking for CME action, right? So obviously, everybody's eye goes there, right? But me, you know where I'm looking? I'm looking for a halo around this occulter disc. This is a black disc on the satellite. It's a physical disc. It's there. Okay? So we look for energy poking around the whole thing. Because if we see energy going around the whole circumference of this thing, we know it's either coming right at us or it's going straight off the back. And because we know that this flare... Hey, Trish, good to see you. Hey, thank you for re-upping that. Appreciate you. That was a membership. She just re-upped her membership. Thank you, Trish. You're awesome. But with this, with that, let me do this real quick before I forget. Guys, when I'm doing my shows, I have to do all the buttons and everything myself, so I do get kind of... It does mess with me a little bit sometimes, but I want to make sure I give you the proper thanks. But anyway, you got this energy that pokes around. We need to know, right? So when we get a halo, it's either coming at us or going right off the back. So this happened, right? This is the surface of the sun, the white circle here, okay? This is kind of the corona. It's just blocking out the main light of the sun so the thing can get an image at all, right? So if I keep moving forward here, you see how it's growing? It's going that direction, right? So the majority of it's going that way. And that is in the danger zone. So that did cross our magnetic connection line to the sun, but it didn't have enough protons to really give us a big radiation storm. I'm not going to go into that today, but whenever you get to see me on this side, it's called the danger zone, which in my opinion is too big of a word for that. But anyway... as we keep moving here, I want you guys to notice something here in just a second. And it does get kind of hard to see. Do you see this? It's part of this. So let me back it up. So it's blowing out. Now what's happening here? You can start seeing the energy kind of creeping up this way. Right? Watch. See this right there? Watch that right there. See that? And then right here. Now that was another eruption over here, I believe. But this is all part of the whole thing. So why am I showing you this? Because I do think that this has a chance, if there was enough CME or enough plasma left, that thing could actually hit us. Because it didn't just stay over here. It was wide enough spread that it started to poke around over here. In those instances, some of it could hit us. It'd be like a real close shave, right? Now, the NASA model did show a possible glancing blow, okay? So we're going to keep an eye on that today and tomorrow and see if anything happens. If it does, it does. It's not going to be a big deal, I don't think. So, but I wanted to make sure I showed you guys that so you guys could see it. Now, let's go ahead and go to the next day here. Because we've had a couple more eruptions. This is the 9th. And once you understand what to look for, you'll look at these models totally different. You really will. You'll start seeing things that you normally wouldn't have. Because you're really looking for that little hazy halo effect that we're talking about here. So if we fast forward here to the 10th, we'll go to the 10th here, right here. We had some eruptions today. Multiple. Okay? I find it interesting that they're blowing off the north and the south. This one here, those two right, there was 2 eruptions back to back. There was actually 3 eruptions here on the south today. And maybe even 4. But those things are blowing straight south. That's not going to hit us at all. So if that was like here and coming at us, then we'd be having a different discussion right now. Because those are really successful in succession is what I'm talking about. Not like, hey, I'm a billionaire successful. But you can see multiple eruptions there, and that is going almost directly south. Now there was one here too, and I think that one of these was on the backside, and that right there is on the backside, and then you'll see other eruptions go in front of it, which means those were on the front side. This is what I'm talking about. When the sun gets really active like this, it becomes very hard to forecast, which is why I nowcast. I'm not going to try to tell you guys what's going to happen in 5 days. I'm not going to do it. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty decent at it, but I'm still wrong and more than I'm right when I try to go out that far. And so I choose not to do that. I just think would be irresponsible of me to do that. And a matter of fact, I would even go as far to say this, guys. This model here is 2 days historic data and 5 days forecast, right? This is NOAA. I don't like the fact that they go out this far, because they are not. That is never correct out that far. Okay, so I'll just leave it at that. I mean, just by pure, mathematics, you're going to be right sometimes, right? And I would have to say that that's the only time that that's been right out this far. The model's just not that correct. I mean, it's hard to do that. It's hard to get this thing that. Now, it's good for kind of like, hey, we need to pay attention, right? That's what I use it for. And there's nothing wrong, I guess, with this. But I personally, I wouldn't come out here and say, hey, we're going to get this CME and this thing going to blast us tomorrow. Our butts are going to be puckering 5 days from now and all the power's going out. No, I'm not doing any of that, okay? So we're just going to leave that part alone. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen today, maybe tomorrow. And then I nowcast. Thank you, Ryan Hall, for that term, because I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So, yeah. And again, guys, this is NOAA. This is the official forecast. So they did show a hit here. This is actually what happened, because that's historic data. We're on the 10th here, right? So they give us 2 days historic data, and then it tries to forecast out. Now, the Aurora oval here is pretty normal, so we're not looking at too much there unless we get hit again. You can definitely see that we're still getting flares, okay? That's what this D region would show you. I'm not sure how far back it'll go here. Matter of fact, I'll just grab it. Okay. That one right there. Again, that's impulsive. What time was that? 1800? So let's check when that was up here. So that would be about right here. It's probably this one. Okay. I'm not sure if this will go back far enough to show us the. Nope. It stops at 1300, which is 1 o'clock p.m. This is all UTC time. So right here is when it started. So, yeah, this flare here is what it was showing. So I just want to make sure you guys know that too. Also, guys, if you guys come over here to Space Weather Prediction Center, NOAA, remember this one here, check your date. You see that? That's the 26th. Why is that saying the 26th? This is SDO. This dashboard uses SDO for this image. And we're not getting any data from SDO right now because the servers got messed up from a water leak. So, keep that in mind. So don't be surprised when you come over here and this image looks exactly the same for the next month, because it will. So, anyway. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here for you guys. Okay, so let me do this. I want to give you guys a little bit of an update on what's going on. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Hey, Peggy, thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Oh, I think you already were a member, Peggy. Thank you for re-upping. I appreciate that. My daughter missed all week last week of school. She had pneumonia. So why am I telling you that? Guess what? Yeah, I ended up getting it. And I don't know that pneumonia itself is actually contagious. but I have it too. I'll just put it to you guys that way. It's that simple. I haven't been feeling good. I was going to do a show yesterday, and I just couldn't get it. I couldn't do it, guys. I was just so exhausted. I feel a little bit better today. You can probably hear it in my voice. You probably hear that I feel a little bit of energy today. But I also re-injured my foot. My dog tripped me last night. And to help from not stepping on her, to try to keep from stepping on her, I had to go up on my tiptoes on the foot that I broke a couple weeks back. I broke my heel. And when I did, oh my gosh, I've been hobbling around like peg leg for all day today. But, so that's why I wasn't here yesterday, just so you know. And there's going to be some changes here on the channel, okay? And why I'm saying this, I want you guys to understand, because what I'm going to start doing is I'll probably, at least 2 or 3 times a week, is going to be my goal at first, to do a morning video, a very, very short, just data, right? Just, hey, this happened on the sun here, this blowed off here, we got a CME possible, da-da-da-da-da-da, 10 minutes or less, I'm out, right? And then I'm still going to try to do a nightly live stream, okay? That's not going to change. What I'm doing right now ain't going to change, this part of it. Members only, I'm going to make it my goal for the next month to try to really get 1 to 2 of those in a week. I think you guys deserve that. You know, and I've been doing about once a week. If you go back and look at the track record, that's about what it is. But I've got some really cool stuff we're going to be doing over there, guys, and it's all about fun over there, just so you know. Okay, I've got some really cool court stuff we're going to be checking out. Keep you guys updated on all that. But I want to say this too. You guys have made a huge difference in me and my wife's life. It's yeah. I can't say thank you enough, number one. Number two, mentally, I am way better because of you guys. This gives me a purpose to be here and do stuff. You guys know that I've struggled with that stuff before. And this gives me a reason, and I feel like I'm productive when I do stuff like this. So just know that you guys mean, that's what you guys, it means the world to me. And I would also say this too. This is why I don't come out and tell you when I'm sick a whole lot, because I don't want that to be the focus. I don't want you guys focusing on, I don't want my channel to become a focus of I'm sick. You know what I mean? But I also want to say this too. I do get sick, and I want you guys to understand. So that's why I also just say it and I move on. But there are people here right now that have some very serious medical conditions going on, and I want to make sure that we give them the proper attention. Okay? So just know that. So when I say, hey, let's get some ones for some prayers for such and such or whatever. And let me tell you guys something too. Prayers, good thoughts, whatever you're doing. There's a couple that it's helping. I know it is. 100% for sure. We've gotten good news, good stuff back from a lot of people. Hey, Heather Joy, good to see you, sister. Good to see you, girl. Hope you're doing good. Hope you and your hubby's doing good. Did you ever run that marathon? I know you were working on that again. I know you run a lot anyway. I know you run a lot, but yeah. Hey, Linda, good to see you. Yeah, Linda, it's, oh my gosh. I've never had a foot injury like this. It is, I think I've got a couple things going on. I know I got a crack. I cracked my heel, but I think I got some plantar fasciitis too, because that's what it felt like. When I did that, it felt like it was like a blanket of fire went on the bottom of my foot and up my heel and up the back of my leg. It's like that fascia segment in my foot was just getting just ripped to shreds, and it hurt worse than when I broke it, which is pretty, you know. That's right, Reverend PC. I love that. Well said. Well said, man. For sure. But I want you guys, if you can, um, and tomorrow I'm probably gonna. I got 5 more memberships I can give out this month. I'm gonna give 5 memberships tomorrow during the stream. Okay. So come tomorrow and then get active in the chat. And when I'll give you guys a heads up when I'm getting ready to gift them. And you guys can start talking in the chat a lot, and the algorithm will give it to the most active in the chat. Just so you know. Because we have so much fun and over there. It's amazing. And I get so much support over there. You guys, as much of a family we got going on here, it's that plus over there. And we get a laugh. We don't always have to talk about this stuff. You know what I mean? Because this stuff matters. And that's why I do my channel. This is not going to change, this part of it. It's just I've added a little extra. And I'm talking about, there's some things I'm working on in the background. My son has hooked me up with possible, we're working on some merch. I'll just say that. We really don't have the time, either one of us, to so we're going to have to use like a drop shipper type of thing. Hey, Cigarettes, good to see you. Thank you for becoming a member. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, yeah. Exactly, Hilly. That's what I thought, too. But I just wanted you guys a little update. I didn't want to leave you guys out in the cold, wondering why I wasn't here yesterday, because I had it. Hey, Sage Pup, good to see you. So I had it scheduled, and I had every intention of doing the live stream yesterday, and I just couldn't get it. I couldn't do it, guys. I am sorry. I simply just couldn't. It was. I'm sure you guys have felt that way before. It just hits you, and you don't even know when it's going to happen. But I am going to go ahead and end this one, guys. If anything happens, you guys know, anybody that's been here for a minute knows I'm going to come right back here and at least give you a 5 or 10 minute update on what's happening. And I've got some pretty cool space weather stuff I'm going to be showing you guys too. I'm working on some playlists to, for people that don't understand the vocabulary. Like, what is a coronal hole? What is space weather even, right? For newer people. I'm working on those so we can, do that. So you guys can go look at that playlist and you won't have to wonder what's going on. It'll be an in-depth, 2 or 3 minute video. That's it. I'll tackle one vocabulary word at a time. And just give basic understanding. That's all. That's my goal. I'm the kindergarten teacher. If you guys want to graduate to college, Tamantha Scove, go hit her up. Best channel in the world for that. And she'll explain it to you in ways you can understand. But anyway. Alright, guys. I am going to cut out. So thank you guys for being here and always being here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless. Yahusha saves. And prayers for everybody that needs them. That's right. Thank you, Pamby, putting them in there in the chat like that. And just like I always say, you can drink this Kool-Aid.